I got the devil at my feet. I'm not careful as I speak. I'm a rebel but discreet. As I wrestle with the beast, I don't backpedal in my speech. To the devil is defeat. As he listens to the messages they telling you on beats, it's all about money, cars, drugs, women. How long till we all want different labels? They pushing the children, they listen. You wonder why we packing the prisons. Kanye West said slavery is a choice. He was right, and they wait for the media to tell them what is right. What is it to gain the world if you lose eternal life? I got the devil at my feet. He's so careful when he speak, but he convincing as he tell you by the bezel with the peace. And all these Jezebels, they wait for you to help them to your sweet. They get you drunk, they get you high, cause they work better when you weak. They blinding you with lust, it's hard to tell when you can't see. They convince you who you are is just a shell of what could be. Give you pleasure for the pressure until hell is what you seek. But telling you to repent is not what they'll rather hear on beats. They want the money, cars, drugs, women. How long till we all want different labels? They push it, the children, they listen and wonder why we packing the prisons. Kanye West said slavery is a choice. He was right, cause they wait for the media to tell them what is right. What is it to gain the world if you lose eternal life? They want the money, cars, drugs, women. How long till we all want different labels? They push it. The children, they listen. You wonder why we packing the prisons. Kanye was right.
All right. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing great. It is so nice to see you guys. Yeah, that's Bryson Gray. And thanks for coming through. JH556, Carolyn, Josh, Kelly, J Star, who I don't see often. John, thank you. You're awesome at everything. John is like the mod of the year. Just saying, he's everywhere all the time. It's almost impossible. Lawrence, Steve, Lenny, welcome. And if I missed your name, I apologize, but that's all I see right now. I thank everybody for coming through. And hey, somebody really could time me out, technically. I don't have a wrench my own self, so that'd be interesting. It'd probably be Callie to do it first. Let me stop. Hey, Scrimshaw. But look, I want to take a little bit of time before I really jumped into the topic because, they say that, big tech will target your video if you don't wait until about 30 minutes in. But I mean, it is what it is. This information is, very important to get out to people. And I hope you share. It is very dangerous. I'd say dangerous times. It's definitely, Mega Man said it earlier, that it is like a silent Cold War, and I'd have to agree. And people are in trouble, big trouble, all of us. And so the little stupid topics that we talk about every day, be it relationships or, hating each other and this and that, it's really nonsensical and doesn't mean too much of shit. So with that being said, I'm going to show this one clip first to start with so you can get a feel on what I'm talking about. And I kind of touched on it last week a little bit, but I didn't say much else. It was kind of brief. So I got to take myself off first. Okay, let me take my picture off. Okay, here we go.
What have your health advisors told you your level of concern should be about monkeypox in the cases that are in the United States and around the world?
Well, they haven't told me the level of exposure yet, but it is something that everybody should be concerned about. We're working on it hard to figure out what we do and what vaccine, if any, may be available for it. But it is a concern in the sense that if it were to spread, it's consequential. That's all they've told me.
That was really hard to hear. I'm wondering if I should go back and play it. Let me play it one more time just to make sure. Could you guys hear that okay?
Mr. President, quick question. Question: what have your health advisors told you your level of concern should be about monkeypox and the cases that are in the United States and around the world?
Well, they haven't told me the level of exposure yet, but it is something that everybody should be concerned about. We're working on it hard, figure out what we do and what vaccine, if any, may be available for it. But it is a concern in the sense that if it were to spread, it's consequential. That's all they've told me.
Okay, so I apologize if it isn't loud enough, but as you can see, he doesn't have a whole lot to say about it. But it appears that, you know, it's a big concern. And, you know, there's reason for everything, right? And I'm going to go into this to show what I'm talking about. Let's see this other one. And there's a lot of it out here. I know you guys, I don't know, I'm sure people, like I said, are aware, but okay. So this is from WHO. And basically what they, well, okay, it's basically saying in here, I think it was an issue really over in Europe, I want to say it was #1, if I'm correct. I think I do have the chart pulled up here somewhere, but you know, these people want full control. And full control meaning they want to be able to make decisions for you. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. That's a huge problem. A huge, huge problem. Now, if you look through this, and you can go, you know, read for yourself. Australia, I guess, is #1, is it? I don't know if this is in, no, this isn't in a confirmed. I thought Europe, but anyway, you can see the cases right here. These are the numbers for you. Outrageous numbers, huh? See that? 1 to 5. Anyway, getting to the point, right? The meat and the potatoes. So if they have full control of everything, that means they come in and say, and basically make medical choices for you. And that's a concern. I hope people, you know, really understand how important this is. And Callie, if you still have the link, if Carolyn still has the link, if you can put it in the chat for contact information. You know, I was listening to somebody else today, and they were talking about how, what else can you think of that they connected to the whole rainbow problem back in the late 70s, early 80s? What else was it? We all know the answer to that. And the reason I titled We Are Doomed, because our Supreme Court is willing to do it. And this is only one factor, right? It seems like 2030 has been zoomed. What's up, V-Dub? It's not, we're not making it to 2030, folks. It is what it is. not with our hands cleaned. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry, but it's an unfortunate thing. And I feel like there's other people, right? Even our figureheads that are inciting things that aren't so pleasant. Okay. Um, we don't want, in let's say in the long game, nobody wants to go to war, right? We don't want bloodshed. We don't want, we don't want to go after our fellow man. That's just not desirable, you know? And we can't really depend on anybody to be on our side. And I'm sorry if I sound low, but I'm really frustrated and drained by this. Like, I don't even have the energy to really yell a lot because I feel like it's just too important that I don't know. I just have a level of seriousness. Like I don't know what more to do other than to tell people, man, you got to really take this shit serious because there is absolutely an agenda behind everything. And like I said, people always talk that fucking conspiracy bullshit, but a lot of these fucking conspiracies turn out, to be fact. So I don't know why it's handled so lightly, and that goes for everybody. That goes for people around me. It goes for everything. You try to explain to them like, man, this is going bad, this is going left. It's like a lot of people don't care. A lot of people have lost hope. It's kind of like it is what it is. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we don't. I know a lot of you guys don't. Some of you might not be aware, but I know a lot of people typically on this platform don't fuck with Dane Calloway. Okay, if you don't know who he is, he's a content creator. You don't have to agree with him, but he just dropped a video about this stuff too. And if you want another perspective, go look at it. Go check out that last video he did. Matter of fact, I probably can find it and put it in here. And like I said, I know a lot of people don't like him. They don't deal with his ideologies. I mean, don't deal with him. They don't agree with him. Okay? And that's okay. But the information that was in this video is very similar. And it's worth a watch to me. So if I can at least do that much, and we have to figure out a solution, right? I mean, a lot of people, we have kids, we have grandkids, we have to figure out something. Here's the link to the video I'm talking about. And when you get a chance, just go look it over because he's talking about the same thing I'm talking about. And I think he really stepped out there because considering he has a huge following, he has a lot of members. I mean, YouTube is, one of his things. It's not his only thing, but, it's one of his things. And for him to put himself in the chopping block like that, whether I agree or not with his ideologies, it made me respect him a little bit because it's a big deal, right? People really don't want to talk about this. They don't. But the reality is we either keep our freedom or we don't. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, if you have more information, like I said, I think Carolyn and Callie have put the links in there for people to contact, but I don't know what else to do. I really don't, where do we go from here? What's next? I know, out of all the people I know, I probably can only think maybe, and I'm saying personal people like family or, close friends, right, in my area. there's maybe one or two people I know that are even potentially a third prepared. That's fucking scary, bro. That is scary. And when I say these things, I'm not excluding myself because I think I'm slacking at that too, right? I'm not doing enough. So I'm not excluding me, you know, and I'm definitely the person that wants to save the world. I want to save us all. But while we're worrying about every single fucking detail in life, we're skipping over the major stuff, the stuff that will really, really make a change in your life. Not about who's fucking who, because that's irrelevant. Not about your potential race going extinct, because who gives a fuck about that? People are going to do what they want to do and have babies by who they want to have babies by. So to me, that's not important either, because you can't tell anybody, excuse my language, where to put their dick or their pussy. They're going to do what the fuck they want to do. And so be it, you know, and I don't care. It is what it is, you know. All these new words they're coming up with that I've never even heard of. This whole concept of replacement theory. Never fucking knew about it. Never heard about it. Don't care about it. You know, it's just all these fucking distractions add up one after another, and it just keeps going. And that's the biggest problem. And I think a lot of times preppers, and I even get mad when I think about people who do quote unquote fear porn. I'm not talking about preppers, okay? I'm talking about the people who make drop videos every day. What's up, Mark? Matrix Reloaded. That's a good name. When I totally lost my train of thought. See, that's what happens when I get in the chat room. But yeah, if we don't, the bottom line is, if we don't figure out a way, if we don't have a solution, we're fucked. We're fucked. And the clock is, I mean, if I had to call it, the doomsday clock is like 3 minutes away. And I'm dead serious when I say that. It's probably like a 3 to 5 minute window in my mind. I could be completely off. I could be completely wrong. I could be many things, but we're treading on very thin water. Very thin water. I'm going to put this in here if anybody wants to come up. If not, I feel like I really did my duty in trying to get this information out. Like I said, I feel like it's prevalent. I hope that people pass it around, not the monkey balls. Pass the information around. Oh, that was the funny stuff. Look, if y'all aren't, so Fleur Burn some of you guys would be like, whoa, where did you meet this person at? But I'm sorry. To me, she's on point. She knows what words to use, and that shit is funny as hell. When she said monkey balls, that killed me today. And when I tell you, they actually put out a shoe to like somehow represent this. It's serious. They did. There's a fucking shoe that represents the monkey balls. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I mean, it's really not funny, but I'm just saying, I was like, dang, man, she is a master at learning how to talk around different things and, you know, get the message out without saying too much. Even she has one thing. It's like the Tupac remix or something. I still haven't figured out what she means by that, but yeah, for real, a shoe, Callie, a fucking shoe dedicated to this. Facts. I wouldn't lie to you. I seen it. I was like, oh my God. Wonder if this, so there, let me see this real quick. Let me see if the, okay, yeah, let's go to this. Now, this is something I saw too, and I didn't get to read it all. I saw the title and I was like, So I don't know if it'll let me see it. The Washington Post is usually an asshole about it. Yeah, it's not going to let me do it. I'm not paying for the Washington Post. Before I could click it off, but I wonder if there's got to be somebody else talking about that. Damn it, where do I want to go away now? Let's see this. Okay, let's go to this one. This one might do it. Basically, in that Washington Post article, they're trying to say that they're not it's nothing to worry about, and the theories that are going around are correct. Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
How's everybody
Not
doing?
much. Doing good, I guess. That's just to be expected.
We're live.
You're live.
Yeah. Did you see RBR just went live against you? It's pretty funny.
Why?
I don't know.
Don't let Aces Ray, Nays, try to lie to you and keep your $30 billion and kill everybody on Earth that's not white. You know, the usual.
Oh, well, I don't care. What's up, Mega Man?
How's
I'm
everyone
sorry.
doing on this fine night?
Is that, what do you want me to call you? Is that
MAGA's
okay?
fine. Everyone calls me MAGA. Just call me MAGA. That's fine.
Okay. I wanted to ask.
Oh boy. We got some storms are rolling in.
Storms.
Yeah.
Hey, Queen. Megan, you wanted to say something first? What's your thoughts? Earlier, you were kind of really like, I think you were thinking, we're thinking the same thing, you know? Like, with the concept of we're really in trouble, right? Really in trouble. And it's amazing to me how a lot of people can just pass this off like it's nothing. Like, oh well, we're good. Nothing's going on. Nothing's happening.
Well,
Josh,
if you want to know,
yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but you're good. Go ahead.
I was going to say this is something I've been screaming about even when I had my old MAGA channel. This is one of those subjects that I'm well versed in when it comes to these global elites, especially the closer and closer we get to their 2030 agenda. It's no surprise, and I have to be careful because I'm not sure how YouTube's TOS is going to handle this when it comes to I'm going to call it the primate pox, because who knows if it's medical misinformation yet, so I want to be careful what I say. But it should be no surprise that this is happening. It should be no surprise that the gas prices are going up. It should be no surprise that there are baby formula shortages. They are trying to force us to accept their terms through attrition, to get solar panels, windmills, to get their precious little arm jabs, to stop eating meat, to surrendering our guns. This is nothing more than a disgusting globalist attempt to try to, comply with their precious view of this United Federation of a single planet. It's not even Star Trek world. It's one planet, man. I get that we have to keep the earth clean. I get that we want to keep the grass green. But what these people are really telling us is that they want somebody else to clean up the garbage for them because they don't want to clean it up themselves. This whole primate pox, and I put this in quotes, it never ends. This is like, terror to such an extreme that if they don't keep the American people fighting with each other and afraid and living in fear of everyone and everything, we are all going to be in trouble. It is disgusting and it's ridiculous. It should be no surprise. They found all the COOF lockdowns to be unconstitutional. There's still some places that are trying to enforce it again, but that didn't work. you know, you see what's happening with the woke agenda with Netflix falling apart and Disney falling
Yeah.
apart. And now all of a sudden, magically, we now have the primate pox. Yay, out of nowhere. Poof. It's just it's insane that they want to constantly keep us living in fear. And you have to look past that. You have to find a way to look past it. I'm not saying the coof wasn't real, because clearly people got sick. Even Orange Man got the arm jab because he caught the coof. So I'm not saying it's not a real thing, but it's just it's no surprise that the media and other outlets that are out there are trying to keep us scared, living in fear, trying to get us to fight with each other, trying to get us to go to war with one another. Now they're trying to starve your babies. I think that this is revenge and retaliation for the Roe versus Wade being overturned. I think this is a plot for revenge to get back at the American people for supporting the abolition of Roe versus Wade, which I'm all for. And now, you know, they're coming for your babies, and now they want to scare you again with another thing that's going to be crawling around in your body. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's sick. It's just it's disgusting. I mean, enough is enough already. You know, that's why I'm glad with a lot of these midterms, a lot of these pro-Trump guys and gals are, you know, winning their primaries. Hopefully these midterms in November, hopefully the swamp can continue to be drained. And I'm telling you now, come 2024, that's when things are going to start to heat up. That's when everything's going to start to heat up. Once those midterms come and go, get yourselves ready, because it's going to be a wild ride, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got to say about that, friend.
Did you get a chance to watch 2000 Mules?
Yes, I did see it. I actually did a review on my channel about it.
Oh,
Now,
you did? Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Check
Now,
it
I'll
out.
say, yes, ma'am. It's actually really good, but
Okay.
you have to go in there. At least this is my opinion now. I know how I feel. I'm not going to say it because I know YouTube still gets a little butthurt about it. I think you know what I think. But
Mhm.
with that being said, when you watch it, it's very compelling, and it sets out to do what it sets out to do. Is it makes you question, it makes you think what took place. I jokingly call it, you know, the fight for Joe Brandon and Orange Man trying to hand in their job applications on time. I put it that way to be YouTube friendly. But when you watch it, when you actually watch it and you sit down, the one most compelling aspect that I found to really draw you in is when you see the closed circuit TV footage of them. I want to be YouTube friendly here because I don't want them getting butthurt, taking multiple job applications and stuffing them into these mailboxes. I'll word it that way. Not only that, they actually go into like hospices and retirement homes with the elderly. And you can clearly see that these elderly American citizens are on respirators and oxygen. And there's no way in hell they can get up out of their bed and just go walk to a voting facility. Excuse me. With that being said, that part of it really, really grabs you. It grabs you. However, it's the other stuff that it starts to raise a little bit of a question with me when it comes to like the geolocation. You know, they have Dennis Prager there. They mention Project Veritas and their investigations. So there's a lot of other stuff that's in there that kind of takes me out of what they were trying to accomplish. But like I said, I'm stuck on the fence with it, to be honest with you. But it does what it sets out to do. It's very compelling, and it draws you in, and it makes you hold on right to the very end of the thing. I think it's what, an hour and 30 minutes, hour 40 minutes, something like that. I forget, but it does what it sets out to do. Now, I know Dinesh D'Souza, you know, he's proven himself time and time again to be pretty legit. But like I said, there's certain things in there you got to watch because, you know, Trump tried lawsuits. They tried lawsuits across the board and recounts and this and that, and it turned up nothing. Now, once again, I know how I feel because on my old MAGA Man channel, I actually did a live stream the very night that it happened. And what took place in Georgia, all my viewers and my subscribers on my old channel were like, what the hell's going on? It just stopped dead. And they mentioned that in this documentary. But with all that being said, to me, I'm sitting on the fence with this one. I am leaning more towards, you know, I know how I feel. I'll put it that way to be YouTube friendly. But it sets out to do what it sets out to do. It makes you think, and it makes you question the whole thing. So that, I mean, that's all I really got to say about it. To be honest with you, it is compelling. That much I will say. It starts making you go, okay. Okay, you know, I can see that. I can see that. But the things that leave me a little skeptical is like the geolocation stuff, and you know, not to spoil it for you, but there's certain technical stuff that's in there that I'm kind of like, you know. So, and what Queen Ma'at just put in the chat right there, yeah, he does. He started going after Tucker Carlson. He started going after a couple people for questioning him and all that stuff. So that's, once again, it takes me out of it. And Queen Ma'at is right to cite that as soon as you try to criticize Dinesh D'Souza, immediately he goes after you. And this is where like that infighting amongst conservatives starts to happen. And that's another aspect of it that takes me out of it. So I'm going to say I'm a fence sitter on it, but you have to see it for yourself. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Hey, Joe. Welcome, Faith. How are you? Hope and charity.
Hey, what's up? I was just gonna wonder if he ever ran out of breath. Holy shit, Mega Man! Damn, damn, you said that without even taking a breath. That was
Sorry,
pretty damn good.
Thanks.
You'd have to take notes if you wanted to comment on something. Is that what you're
Right.
saying?
Well, man, he ran through the first 6 questions. I'm like, what the fuck was the first question? Shit. Fuck.
Man, no, you did make some really good points though, for sure. You know, I don't know, like John said, it's been around. So I mean, I guess it's quote unquote brand new again. Like, what is this? Like where did this come from? You know? But like I said, they tried to. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to link it to stuff they've tried to link in the past to primates. You know?
Mhm.
But I'm sure Josh is gonna tell you to grow your food. Right, Josh?
No. I ain't gonna tell y'all to do shit. Y'all do your plans. Y'all got 8 years left. Y'all figure it out. If you want to tuck tail and run, if you want to go finish your bucket list, do whatever the fuck you want. Because it's too late for convincing people now. I'm gonna do my thing. Y'all do your thing. See you on the other side. Let her rip, Petty Chip.
See, it's sad to me that it's gotten that far, but I think so many people haven't taken it serious. There's so many people are worried about other things that'll get you to a point where you just throw your hands up and say, fuck it, figure it out. Everybody ain't gonna make it. Am I right?
Well,
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we start getting into the area of Darwinism at that point, I think is what you're referring to. Survival of the fittest, more or less, is what it's going to boil down to. But not saying that we're talking about like Thanos, you know, with his gloves snapping his fingers, and then half the human race goes away. But you know, it's just what they're doing to us, and what they're doing across this planet with this globalist nonsense. They're really, really pushing people to their breaking point now. I mean, literally, and at least in my opinion, from what I heard with Joe Biden today talking about the gas that it seems to be working out. Sean Hannity and Fox News just released a video clip of it on YouTube within like the past half hour. And I watched it and I heard it come out of Joe Biden's mouth, you know, that eventually everybody is going to give up their fossil fuels. So it's intentional to choke our gas supplies, to force us into their precious little electric bicycles and their precious electric scooters and their awesome electric cars. Screw that, man. I broke my ass to get my damn car.
America.
Yeah, for sure. And before I forget, I want to say one thing. I heard today from somebody that me and Carolyn follow, and she said when there's a shortage on baby formula and pet food, that equals potential war. And then, you know, Maggie, you said it earlier when you said, you know, I feel the same way. It's like a silent Cold War.
Mhm.
I mean,
I've been talking about that, Miss Kelly, for as long as I've been on YouTube, even with my old channel. I've been screaming to the top of my lungs talking about this. The whole goal is to destabilize everything that our forefathers and our soldiers fought for. And it's going to get to such a point now where if they're literally retaliating against the Supreme Court, for example, to starve our babies because of Roe versus Wade, is that their way of getting back at us? To intentionally choke the gas supplies just to save a couple birds and a couple dandelions? You know what I mean? It's reaching a point where they're going to push the American people to
To
rise up,
what?
and right.
To what? You think they're gonna rise up? They ain't gonna do shit. They haven't done
Well,
shit. Ain't nobody gonna do shit.
and that's the sad part. You know, I'm going to acknowledge that with an asterisk because unfortunately we've learned that I think it's going to have to fall on the doorstep of individuals when it finally falls in their laps. They're finally going to smack their head, facepalm, and go, "Oh, maybe I should have gotten up and done something." By that time, it's already too late. We are in a cold civil war, and I acknowledge that fully. I've been talking about this for a long time. We're in a cold civil war. It's ideological warfare at this point. It's sick.
Right. Welcome, Charity. How are you?
Good. How are you guys? Hey,
Oh
Megan.
no, Miss Charity! Hey, what's up, girl?
I know we've been playing phone tag. I was like, oh my god, is that him? It is. And
Yeah, it's
Kelly,
me.
I haven't seen you on him forever either.
Yeah, it's been a long time. When I seen your face, I'm like, oh yeah, I know her.
So I'm interested in what. Okay, Mega Man, what do you think we should do? I mean, what is the solution to it? Is the only
only thing-
solution to rise up and flip it, or that's the solution? Because
Well,
that's
for
that's
right
that's
now,
horrible. That's a horrible solution.
yeah, I know that for right
Yeah.
now. See, like Miss Charity is one of those content creators who talks about this. You know, saving up, trying to find ways of spending less money, gathering supplies, filling your shelves, getting your stockpile together, just in case if God forbid something goes on. I mean, I've been buying canned goods and jarred goods and pastas and stuff that I can keep up on a shelf for a year or two. You know, trying to get stuff I could save for the long term, getting bottled water and all that kind of stuff. I'm planning on getting a vacuum sealer for myself and all this stuff to keep food and store food and whatnot. I even
Right
bought
on.
myself a couple hunting rifles. If God forbid I got to go out there and they finally stop us from eating meat, you better believe I'm going to go out there and hunt me some deer, get me some
Hunting,
whitetail. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, you'll be successful.
And
all
it's
the
it's
deer
going to
will be dead. If everybody's hunting deer, there won't be any deer.
no, you can't hunt them to the point of extinction. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if it's
That's
going to
what's
reach
going to
that
happen.
point,
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah,
going to happen, though.
Yeah,
Within
'cause
the
people are
first
gonna
couple
survive.
months.
yeah,
Yep.
people are going to end up surviving. They're going to want to push to eat. I mean,
Yep.
eating and breathing are like the two main things that we need to survive. Unfortunately, that's the truth of our existence. But they're pushing us, man. I hate to see what's going to happen. I don't want war, but
Well,
they keep
here's
pushing
my
us. That's what's
theory.
going to happen.
Here's my theory. I'm going to grow my farm as big as I can, and then when the currency
Mhm.
devaluates and the fiat currency ain't worth shit, I'll be one of the richest people in the county. I'll run this bitch. That's what I'm going to
That's
do.
what I think too. I'm always thinking that. I'm like, hey, maybe.
That's a good. That's the best idea, right? That's the best argument, in my opinion.
And we take the best argument because that's the smartest.
I mean, that's the only way. I mean, prepping like you're saying, it's what Mega Man, what you're saying. Get that 1 or 2 year supply ahead, because if you don't, something happens with your farm or your animals. You've got to have the backup, of course. But I mean, dude, a fucking chicken laying an egg when there's no money and money ain't worth shit. I'll trade ARs all day long for a chicken.
That's what. Okay, when I reference this Dane guy, okay, in that video, he also is looking for 13% of people, I believe, what he calls needy or something like that. I don't know, but he's looking for 13% of like-minded people to get in contact with him and to purchase land, right? So I guess he's trying to do some type of running their own state.
Well, that's all well and good, but what is the law enforcement code? Who's running it? Do we have these people been vetted? Who's doing the vetting? Can we look at the vetting? And are these people reliable enough to not just be like somebody from the fucking Appalachians, the Pastor Joe Fox boys, the Bear Independent boys? Are they just going to run out to them and say, this is what they got? I mean, it's a good idea, I guess, but finding like-minded individuals on the internet that won't sell you out to the next person is few and far
No,
between.
that's hard.
Hit
That's
Mega
very
Millions
hard.
first.
But if you own it, if the guy's smart, the guy is smart, he could own it. And if they say shit, he already owns it. He just kick them out and fall with what may. But
I mean, I can always resort back to the concept of Pastor Dowell. I mean, people don't like him either, but hey, he's created a whole new way of life, basically. Kind of going backwards, right?
yep, that's
A
what we got to
little
do.
But it's moving forward.
See, I think the longer that we're able to hold out, that's the way out of it, honestly, because of look at like the past, the mosquito bite. And so like
Yeah.
if you were able to get through that,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think it is because I mean, we can't go hundreds of years behind. I mean, they have like heart attack machines and all kinds of crazy stuff, like
Do you know why? Do you know why we don't have 350 million people in the army in the United States? It's because 299 million don't believe they could kill somebody. So I'm going to believe in humanity on this one. And, sure, there's going to be hungry people, but I think humanity will step up and I think we'll take care of our own. I mean, America is America. It's been America. We'll do the American thing. And we'll be doing the rah-rah shit. I'm sure there'll be a lot of rah-rah boys out there doing their shit, wearing their Hawaiian shirts, being fucking heroes. But to me, feeding a baby is a lot more important than shooting somebody. Just saying.
I think we're going to reach a point, and I kind of deny this with myself because it's just I have that, and forgive me, I usually lean more towards the negative and everything, not being a pessimist or anything like that, but I have a feeling that as all of this goes on, I think more like people like, for example, like Miss Charity, for example, what she does, and she's very good at what she does. I incorporated a lot of what she's been saying in her videos into my personal life, trying to economize, etc. I think we're going to digress back into a bartering system where like, I got some milk, you got some eggs, let's trade.
Please. I beg of you, please, let's do it. I'm down.
I think that's what's going to happen. It's that, and I've been denying this, and this is like my first time I'm hearing myself say it, but I have a feeling that that's what it's going to end up leading people like us to, that prepared, that are ready for it, that, can see what's down the road, so to speak. Like I said, I got jars of tomato sauce now. I've never had this much tomato sauce. If I were to fill up a kiddie pool, I could probably swim in it. You know what I mean? Pastas.
Can you grow tomatoes?
I've never tried. I don't know anything about gardening.
yeah,
I'll be
he
honest
will.
with you.
He'll be all right.
Well, that's why you head over to Gardner Josh's channel and go watch what he does.
Yeah.
Because he does this shit on a small acreage space. The probability and the possibility of growing over 1,000 pounds of food in a growing season and then some is not out of reach for people.
I live in a trailer park, by the way.
Yeah, it's really fucking amazing.
Yeah, and I have an apartment.
Yeah.
That's the thing with me is I have an apartment right now. So, but I know people grow things.
Yeah, I mean but see, here's the thing about that is if you can grow one in a pot in your apartment, when there is no rules and there's an empty lot next door.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean there's no more rules. I've got a 10-acre field right next to me. Of course, I'll respect the laws that are here today. But if you're going to tell me there's nothing there and no laws, that's mine.
Yep.
That's my new farm. And I'm fully ready to ramp up from 1 acre to 20 acres and feed my community. That's what I'm going to do. Live, die, whatever, this is my hill. So.
What's the old saying? Finders, keepers.
Do you know what I think's different about all this too? Is that there's a huge majority of us it's not like somebody's coming and fighting us and trying to take our land. Like we're all gonna be in this mess at the same time together. You know what I mean? I think that's gonna be a big difference with how people react.
Well, truthfully, I mean, it's a little bit scary to me because what I see going on around me, it's like people don't really have their humanity, It's like,
I agree.
but I live in a small community now. You take my small community, and the infrastructure of my community works. We survive as a community right now. Okay, so let's say the federal community goes away. Nothing's going to change here. We're going to fight to keep our people in power and to keep the things functioning. And everybody's going to band together just like we do when a kid goes missing during hunting season or anything like that. There's a show out. When something bad happens, we all don't panic and say, let's kill our neighbor. There are some that do that, of course. But for the most part, everybody comes together and is like, okay, here's the problem. What's the solution? You need to be thinking about this, how to delegate people that are now standing around with nothing to do, to give them a damn shovel and tell them to dig, or give them a bucket and say, feed that. That's what you're going to do now. You got to be prepared to do that. Step up to that plate because it's going to be needed. I live in a rural community, a lot of farmers, a lot of ranchers. There's more cows per capita in my county than there are people. That will be utilized. They're not going to let their community starve. They will take their cows, and it'll become instead of shipping them cows out and selling them to make the fiat currency, it'll be traded for labor on their land or something like that. It's all going to come in. Everything's going to come inside. It's no longer going outside. So that's my hope. That's what I'm planning for. That's what I'm prepping for. It's what I'm living my life for. I'm living it. I'm not. I don't usually get on here and preach it and tell everybody how they should do it. I'll just tell you what I'm doing, and if you need help, I'll show you how to do it. I mean, anybody can do it. The more people that do it, the more they will fear us.
See, some of us are still close to cities. That's the only thing in the back of my mind. I'm like, oh, I'm not that far, but I am, and I'm not.
I'm definitely in the city. So I think a lot of people have, even, if I think of my closest potential, quote unquote, bug out, right? It would be hell,
Right.
but it's doable, but getting there is the question.
But here's the thing about the cities now. When something bad happens and the major humanitarian effort from around the world comes to the United States, because it will, it goes everywhere else, it'll come here. The cities are going to get the goods first because it's easier. That's where the airports are.
During Sandy.
Yeah.
Sorry to talk over you.
It's fine, but it's going to happen. You guys have time. I mean, and then trying to get to become an Oklahomie, I mean, it's still possible. I think the cities will they won't fail as fast as you would think, is what I'm trying to say.
It's funny that you said that because my father grew up in Pennsylvania, even though he married a city slicker like my mom in New York City, right? But he always used to tell me about things like this. I guess being the firstborn, now living here in North Carolina, I mean, once you go maybe like 15 miles north of where I live, it's all farmland, man. And I love looking at it. Mind you, I was born a city boy, and it's still a little intimidating to me still when I look at the countryside. But I tell you what you just said kind of resonates with me a little bit because I'm only beginning to explore. I mean, even though I've been here now for 6 years, I'm just now exploring all of this stuff for the first time. Driving around the countryside and seeing how people live and looking at the local farmers that, supply fruits and vegetables and that sort of thing. So, to me, from my point of view, I guess maybe I'm a bit of an outsider on this. I find it intimidating because, hey, I'm still a New York City boy living in the South. You know what I'm saying?
Here's an idea for a great prep, Mega Man. Get a map of your area. Drive around, and every time you drive around and see somebody that owns an orchard, mark it down, apple orchard. Anytime you see a giant pepper farm, this guy sells peppers, mark that down. So you can get to that location because that they will barter too. I mean, they're not going to sell it to somebody, then nobody's going to buy it. They're going to have to get rid of the crop. So, I mean, that's where you need to know where the places are. I mean,
yeah, it's like when the coof happened, for example. I've seen horror stories of farmers dumping milk and potatoes and all this stuff out, and I'm like, oh my God. like what you just said, based on what you said, I wish I would have had that knowledge back then. I would have been out there with garbage cans, taking potatoes and milk,
Well,
for God's sake.
here's how the propaganda machine works.
Yeah.
Dairy farmers dump milk every day. You know why?
Right.
Because if a cow gets mastitis, there's blood in the milk and they can't sell it. So
Exactly.
they have to back out so many gallons. So all they need is the right photo op at the right time to put fear into people, to scare it. The propaganda machine in full effect, but they're dumping milk that's not edible. Because
Nice.
I mean, even at that, man, it's very rare that they dump milk, even bad milk, unless it's a photo op, because they can give it to a pig farm. The pig farms will eat it. I mean, it's so valuable of a resource to other animals that
Especially raw
man.
milk.
What'd you say? Raw milk?
Oh yeah, especially raw milk. I mean, it's
Mhm.
not allowed some places, but everybody knows about it, even where it's a no-no.
Right. Get that A2. You don't have to worry about being lactose intolerant.
Well, and then like you said, the goat, like Josh, I mean, if you guys don't know, I mean, he showed it before, but I mean, he pretty much has everything except for, I would maybe say, pigs and cows. I mean,
Right.
he's got the goats, the chickens, the
Yeah.
geese.
I mean, I want to do pigs and cows, but like I said, it's really hard to feed them in a post-apocalyptic era.
Yeah.
But I could produce just as much meat with my rabbits and chickens as in a year than I can for raising a beef for cheaper. So I mean, I got the resources, dude. Don't get me wrong. I want some fucking bacon seeds, but one step at a time.
Yeah, that'd be awesome for sure. I mean, and just imagine if you could, potentially purchase some other land, right? So you could still keep
Right.
both, technically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I got the opportunity if I wanted to. If I got to kind of find the money, but I could have a place I could put 3 cows, and I wouldn't have to pay anything but raising the cows, and the rent would be half a beef to the owner. I mean, I have that opportunity. I could pull the trigger on it tomorrow if I had the money and the cows and the feed. But that's a big investment. You got to be sure what you're doing, and I'm just not quite there yet.
Well, I don't know. You have some great ideas. I'm gonna put your do you have stuff up on your channel, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
showed your stuff, but do you have like actual I don't remember if you had
Community posts.
tutorials or whatever.
Right. I do, yeah. I'm going to
Okay.
start doing more. I mean, what happens is somebody will ask me a question and I'll get with them one-on-one and directly answer it in the comment section. Because I mean, everybody you just pick up planting a tomato and everybody gets it, but I like it much more one-on-one.
Well, yeah, you've helped me.
Yeah, I mean, I do the last live I did. The first part of the live was a complete garden tour of every animal and everything I've got going on. It's like the first half hour or so.
I mean, and I'm not gonna say that it's easy work because I mean,
It's not.
you stay busy.
That's the thing, though. I stay so fucking busy. I don't have time to get feared up by everything. I mean, I used to in the winter. Winter farmers have a little bit more time. We'll get gaslit over everything in the winter. We'll start talking about flat Earth and shit. But I mean, summertime, I just ain't got time. I don't have time for anything but work. I work a full-time job.
Exactly.
40 to 60 hours a week and garden. And I'm a caregiver. So it's said, I mean, everybody got excuses. I could use 1 million of them and just sit here in my bed and not do a damn thing and just live off of excuses. But excuses don't feed bellies of grandchildren.
Right. Josh doesn't
you're-
sleep, people.
You earned my subscription. I just subbed right now. I'm definitely going to look into your stuff.
Yeah.
Teach this
Well,
city
I mean,
boy a thing or two.
just hit me up in the comments or whatever. If Kelly's got your digits or whatever, she can send them to you.
Yeah.
The digits. No, I have you. I don't know if have you ever talked to Mo Omega?
I
Well,
don't want to give out
Well,
my personal info because, as you
okay.
know, there's stuff going on
Yeah.
my
right,
end.
right,
I
right.
don't want to
Well,
spread it out there. So
well,
Right.
okay, Maga Man. My email is in my about section. So if you need
I'll
help
find
or
it.
whatever, or just leave a comment and I'll answer in the comment section.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. I
Yep,
appreciate it.
no
And
problem.
believe me, no question is stupid. I'll never forget my high school teacher that told me the only dumb question is the question that's not
Well,
asked.
like you ask a question. Say you ask a question of how do I start a tomato plant? We create a
Mhm.
thread in my comment section, and then that becomes something I can post for everybody else to go back to. Therefore, if they ain't got time to, it's always there to read. And
Yeah.
sometimes people read better than they watch and don't retain it. When you read it, you retain it a little bit better. I've learned. Not that I'm an expert on retaining anything, but I mean, it's a good idea. I think.
Yeah.
Have
for
you
sure. Go ahead. Go
have
ahead.
you noticed so many people that I don't know if it's just people I'm meeting or what's going on, but because I moved up here and I'm meeting all these people that are like literally they know what's going on, right? And they're planning certain things or whatever, but then they're relying on like nothing. They're like growing like 3 peas. Like have you had a lot of people talking to you about like how much of certain things they have to grow? Not to get into a whole big
Um,
spiel, but
yeah, it's in a staggering amount, so I don't hit them with that right off the bat. It'll discourage too many people.
yeah.
But like for my family, um, 2,000 jars of canned food is what I would take, and I'm nowhere near that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not near
Yeah.
that, but that's what it would take for a year with self sustainability. But what I can do with area I have is refine my process to where I can put away that many, and I can start, because empty jars are just as valuable as full jars to me because I got to have something to put all this food in. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I can go over it with you if you'd like. But around one person will take about 500 jars per year. One person.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Really?
I know.
And
But
if
there's
you're
certain
looking at the
things
dry stuff too, it's like 100 pounds of sugar, of rice, of beans, of flour per person for a year,
Right.
give or take.
Yep.
and a lot of it goes based on like your preferences, like
Right.
it's all
Yeah,
true
dude.
what
Yeah.
people really cook and stuff. But I had so many people that were coming to me and I felt so bad, like at this
Right.
mom's group from homeschooling, because they
Mhm.
were so proud of their peas. And I'm serious, like just peas. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I wanted to cry for them because I'm like,
Right.
okay, if
Well, look,
anything else would have made me like,
survival.
oh, yay. But
There's certain foods you consider survival crops. Root vegetables they can store in the ground. You don't need to do anything else with them, and they're high in vitamins. So I'm going to try to grow 200 pounds of carrots this year. Well, what can you do with a carrot? Well, you could put carrots over rice and eat carrots and rice instead of
oh, yeah.
beans and rice, or and of course I've got canned deer meat. I'll have canned rabbit here in about 2 weeks. So you can make a meal out of it and make a soup out of it, make a broth out of it. You can do all of the things that the stores do. It just variety will be the spice of life, man. I'm telling you.
Mm.
Now, let me ask you this, being the noob in the group when it comes to this subject, and I completely admit I don't know a thing about planting stuff, farming, or anything. Like I said, with the little bit I've learned so far from Miss Charity, I've implemented already, at least started to implement it. Now, for you guys that are experienced with this, and I see this being advertised all the time and all across the internet, I look at it, I always take it with a grain of salt. Whenever you see content creators who are sponsored by these companies that have these 25-year storage emergency food packs and all that stuff, is that worth it?
To yeah, for to have some of that on hand in case, because you always got a plan for a garden to fail, so you've got to have a year's supply of something. So if it's that, it's that. Some of them are better than others, of course. I'm not saying but you can do just the same thing at your own and for a lot cheaper. Really, you can, because all you need is beans, rice, and other stuff. With the vacuum sealer, like you said, you can get a lot further for your bang for your buck if you go that route.
Well, you know me, I take that one away because I won't buy them. I feel like not, especially with all of us on a budget.
Right. Yeah.
But
It's
one
it.
that they
If
sent
you can afford it,
away.
yeah, I would do it. I got some of it, but it's like I said, man. You should just have a year or 2 year supply of stuff that you can fall back on if you have a bad year. That's what I do.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I mean, if you got the money and you want to buy a 2 week supply, yeah, go ahead. It'll get you through any kind of emergency too. So it's good to have on hand something you can just throw hot water in and be good.
Usually I'm a little more chatty chat and live streams. I'm actually sitting here with a notebook taking notes and stuff. I never pass up good knowledge, so forgive me if I go quiet for a little bit of time.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, because this is something completely new to me and alien to me. So,
well, yeah, and I mean, even if you like, Carolyn was telling me because I was like, man, the landlord doesn't really want stuff grown all over the property, which is weird, but it's his stuff. He doesn't want it. So what do I do? And she was like, man, you could put that in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
And I was like, I never even thought of that. I would have never thought that I could grow something out of a freaking cardboard
Hey,
box.
there's a little secret I tell everybody. Plants don't give a shit. They don't know what you're growing it in. They don't have eyes.
That's a good one.
What's an MRE meal?
Military meals.
Ready to eat. Yeah, it's like dehydrated food and all that stuff. Think of like the astronaut space food kind of stuff.
Think of what the Army eats. The Army eats the MREs.
Oh yeah, no thanks. I think I tried some astronaut ice cream when I was in school or something.
But yeah, here is one thing about the MREs and those 25-year shelf lives. Go look at the videos of somebody that tried to live off of it for 2 weeks and see what happens to them.
Oh yeah.
You'll find few of them that make it 2 weeks. But some about that stuff. You can't shit right for a month after eating it for a week. Just saying.
Right, for sure. Joe is another one that has pretty much has his own garden / farm. So he's doing it too, and he's out in he's down in Alabama. So there are people doing it. I just don't think enough.
No, I don't think so.
We would need basically at least half of the country back to growing their own food. Even a little bit of it, because the way things are going, they're looking at, we have weeks left, 10 at best, maybe 9, I don't know, of wheat left, and they're putting that onto the category of the East versus East battle that's going on right now, with all of the things that they're pinning, whose fault it is and all that other stuff. Not to mention, just recently here, there's more medical shortages. All of this stuff is reason to really wake people up and get people to think. There are thousands of ways, literally, that you can do what you need to do, even with jars of peanut butter, with fluff, with crackers, with... you can make your own hardtack, which is basically flour, salt, and water, and make your own biscuits.
Pemmican.
Pemmican is another one.
Could you imagine 6 months after the balloon goes up and everybody's sitting around a fire depressed and you bust out some marshmallow fluff?
Right.
Holy shit, you want to talk about spirits being raised? Good idea, Carolyn. You got to have those little things that will boost your spirits and morale. I mean, it's just marshmallow fluff, but 3 months after tasting sugar, man, it's going to blow your mind.
It would.
Isn't that why they put... No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to introduce Lady Courtails to the panel. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, lady.
Hey, lady.
How you doing?
I just heard y'all talking about food and stuff. I can give a little bit to survival due to our hurricane situation down here.
Yep.
One thing that I have added to my survival list outside of our normal hurricane preparations is knowing my fauna around here. and I need to learn more, but I'm learning as fast as I can. Every single plant that I can identify, I'm looking it up. I have canna lilies that I brought in and put in my yard. Guess what? I can eat the roots.
Right.
Okay?
And here's something I'd like to add to that, if you don't mind, to piggyback
Sure.
on that. Something nobody thinks about is
Hmm.
how many rains does it take to cleanse the fauna after a hurricane that's been sitting in floodwater? You can't just go eat it after the water recedes. It'll
No,
kill
you
you.
can't. No, you can't.
It takes at least 6 inches of fresh rainfall to wash that all away.
Right.
Even the roots, it would
Well,
take
in
longer.
Louisiana, we don't have to wait long for the
No,
six,
no, yeah, you
even
get plenty of rain.
after the flood's gone. We don't have to wait long. But like palmettos, you can look those up. They're in abundance down here. Well, guess what? You can eat the stalk of the palmetto. They're pine trees. We have an abundance of pine trees where I'm located. In the United States, when we first got here to this continent, you could you had a big high volume of scurvy. People were dying. Okay. Well, they couldn't figure out why the Indians weren't dying. And turns out you make pine needle tea, high, high, high in vitamin C. Okay. There's all kind of things. But you need to go back in case your food source is gone, in case it disappears, in case somebody robs you, in case something goes wrong. You need to learn how to survive on what's around you and be able to identify it. Some of these plants are also medicine. Wild lettuce, that's another one. So,
Dandelion root.
right. Do not kill the dandelions. Let them all
No.
come up. You can eat every bit of the dandelion, every
I had
piece.
dandelion pie once that my grandmother in Pennsylvania made. It was awesome.
It's really good for you, believe it or
It's
not.
good.
That actually is a wonderful detoxifier to just pluck off the flowers and then let the plant come back. And you steep it into tea, strain it, drink it. Man, I'm telling you what, it'll get rid of all of your seasonal allergen issues.
They're
It does
also
all
really
kind of
good.
thing.
It's also good deep fried. Just saying. You can deep fry anything.
So,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
just
We put,
about.
yeah. My friend come over the other day and picked all my dandelions. I'm like, cool. Do you know how to run a weed or two? I mean, shit.
I don't want to eat a dandelion.
I mean, I won't lie, it's bitter as hell and nasty, but if it gets rid of my fall respiratory allergies that lead to respiratory infections, then fuck it, I'm eating dandelions. I don't give a
You don't
shit.
you don't want to eat dandelions right now because you can go to the store and buy food.
I clicked on that link. Is that like a medicine / plant, Lady Cortales, or is it something else? I just saved it in my tabs. I didn't look
That's
at
an
it.
extract of the
Okay.
plant, but you
Okay.
could grow the plant yourself. Okay. But that's an extract from the plant that the Amish put together. That's a definite cure for monkeypox and also a deterrent for other poxes.
Which they are trying to push at this point.
Right.
The cat community organization is looking at least on the surface, developing a new one, as well as potentially using some of the antivirals from smallpox to go forward. In all reality, it's another one of these scenarios that there's going to be people that get it really bad. People that have a high risk, which is this one right here, and things of that nature, where you have to be very diligent to make sure that you're not touching people that have the open boo-boos, because that's number one. Number two, your eyes, nose, mouth, and mucous membranes are the most at risk for that. So this time people might want to not complain too bad about a mask, I'm just saying, around anybody that looks sick. I mean, you can tell if you've ever had kids that have chicken pox or have ever been around people that have chicken pox, they look sick. Sick. Just saying.
Well,
But just to sum up what I wanted to say, Kelly,
go
in a
ahead.
sense, make sure that you can clean your water. Clean water is key. Fire to cook, and know your fauna around you. Know everything around you. Medicinal purposes or what you can eat. And then past that, you build what you that's going to cover you no matter where you are in your area. But I mean, not cover you. I'm not going to say you're going to be fat. You're going to be skinny, but you're going to survive. But the thing is that, there's no guarantee that your
One
food
second,
that you've
Josh.
stored up is going to be there. There's
You
no
have your
guarantee. Now, I'm storing things, but if I have to run for any reason, the only thing, my brain, your brain is going to be the most important thing that you have.
And I think the other thing that people should acquire is like how do you say it, medicinal, herbal, like remedies, and know the difference in your plants. Even I have to do better with that because it's highly likely you're going to need that.
See, that's the only thing that I've ever really had trouble with is getting into plants and identifying plants. But I believe we all have our fortes and we all end up coming together one way or another, so I haven't put too much pressure on myself over that. I do want to get a book though on that just in case.
Right.
Yeah, there's some really good bushcraft books where you can get that. It gives you, ideas for shelter, it gives you ideas for plant identification, different kinds of like the cress family, the watercress that you can do, that a lot of people have that grow in their yards. That most people, that's the funny thing, that stuff that grows in your yard that most people would consider to be nuisance plants and weeds and stuff all have a purpose. A hell of a lot of them are medicinal. So we're, think of the neighbor that has the weedy yard and then the other neighbor that has the perfect manicured lawn. But you look over here, at what they've got, and they've got 15 different plants in their yard that are growing naturally that can be used for a host of everything from fever reduction to, inflammation to respiratory help to pain. I mean, take your pick.
Wow. I put everybody's link in the chat. If you guys, if you have some final words or whatever, because I'm going to get out of here. I'm starving and I'm going to go to sleep for some reason.
Imagine that. Kelly's tired.
Hey, I've been up all day today. I've been busy. I actually completed 3 contracts, believe it or not, and I needed those. So
good job. Hell yeah, Kelly.
Yeah.
Way to live the daywalker lifestyle.
Amen. You gotta be petty at the end.
Thank you, Kelly, for letting me be on.
Oh,
Talk to
absolutely.
you again.
Anytime. Thank you, dear.
Okay. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
And Charity, I dropped your link. I got Mega Man. So Carolyn, Josh, everybody, make sure you guys, give them a sub. That'd be cool. And you guys can put your own link in there if you want to. Feel
Appreciate
free.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Kelly.
Thank you.
Tell Mo
So-
I said hi.
Yeah,
Thank
it boils down to one thing, y'all. Shut the fuck up and grow something.
There you go. I will, Charity. I appreciate it. You take care. And Mega, I appreciate your thoughts too. Thanks for coming up, and I hope
Yeah, Mega.
you and Josh
Yeah,
can hook up because he's a good guy and he's very helpful.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised, especially on my channel, how many people live around my way. I know Dog Stray lives around my way. There's a couple Carolinians that are around here. I'd love to meet, face to face and in person, throw down. But, with that being said, I appreciate this type of information because
I
this
know.
is, that's why I'm so quiet, because this is like a new territory for me. So I appreciate the input.
If all I can also lead you to a host of channels that live in your area, larger channels that have a lot of stuff for your climate, your everything. So I can lead you that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for the record, Mo loves your state. North Carolina is like his favorite. I don't know why.
Mo is the man, not for nothing. I give Mo a lot of credit.
Mo's a goat too, by the way. Same.
Yeah, he named his goat Mo. It's funny.
Nice.
But Samson is cuter than Mo. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Mo won't stop pissing all over himself and showing everybody his pee-pee.
Those are great words. I appreciate it. And Mega, when do you usually go live? What's your days, times?
I have no rhyme or reason to when I do my live streams. It's just pretty much whenever I feel like it. On my end, a lot of my viewers are trying to get me on a schedule, but the problem is that given my daily routine, I could say, okay, I'm going to live stream one day, something comes up, then I'll put it off for another day. I gave up trying to schedule stuff. I'm more on the fly than anything else. But you'll know it. You'll know it when I live stream. Usually there's somebody hating on me or stomping on me or God knows what else is going on. You know how it is. But just look out for it. That's all. Just look out for it. I tend to stream more like in the afternoon to like evening hours, depending. But like I said, there's no rhyme or reason to my schedule. So
okay, I'll try to find. I mean, I found you. I'll try to catch up with you then. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm going to show myself out the door here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Kelly, and everybody here in the chat and in the panel. I appreciate it. This is all new to me, so thank you for sharing that info.
Yeah, no problem.
Right on.
And
Good night, all.
Good night. Appreciate it. That's what it's all about, right? Reach one, teach one. Any information we can share with each other to do better, be better, whatever it is. We got to make that happen. So,
yes.
But do you guys do you want to go to Discord, or are you calling it a night, or what?
I'm good to go to Discord.
I'm good.
All right, I'll catch you guys over there.
Right on. We'll see you there.
All right.
All right.
Thanks everybody for coming.
All right, later all.
Good night.
Well, maybe if I can end the broadcast, that might help. Maybe I can't.
Buttons, Kelly. Buttons, Kelly.
I'm serious, I can't. Oh my God.
Cool. Looks like we're doing marathon. Welcome back to the Kelly Show.
No. I got it.